What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, NBA DFS video. It is Wednesday. It is February 28th. 2 more days of February, and we are into March, but we are back with another video. Congratulations, we had a winner again. Yesterday, we had a winner for predicting who's going to score the most amount of fantasy points on Monday night. So we do the exact same thing. If you've never been here before, hopefully you learn something, because we do things a little bit differently here. And I'm going to explain it right off the bat, because if this is not for you, I completely understand, and you can find a different place, but we try to make you a better DFS player. We have giveaways every single day, or we try to have giveaways every single day. 2 ways to win. One, you got to be a YouTube subscriber. You got to like the video and leave a comment. Any comment. If you make a comment, that's how you get into the algorithm, or the comment picker. So what we do is, if we get at least 50 likes on a video, someone will win a free week of DFS content. 100 likes is a free year, 120 or a free month. 125 likes is a free year, and if we ever get 150 or more likes on a video, someone will win a $500 lifetime pass. The second way to do it, because there's 2 ways to win every single day. Like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me who is going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points on this slate, and how many points will they score. If you get it closest without going over, you will win a free week of DFS content. If you get it exactly correct, you will win, the person and the actual DraftKings fantasy points, you will win a yearly pass. We have not had anyone win a yearly pass yet, but we've had multiple people win, and our winner from yesterday won last week as well. So back-to-back. You can win every single day. If you play the contest every single day, you can add that up. That comment also goes towards getting those 50 likes to win another portion of that as well. So congratulations to our winner. I think it's a second win. If I remember, it's his second win. Michael Barnes. Yeah, he won last week and then he won this week. So same exact thing. If we can get those numbers on this video, someone will win. You could win technically twice. You can win every single day if you play. So we are on a Wednesday. We have a smaller Wednesday slate. We have a 6-game slate, so we're going to cover that. What we do is we're going to go over the Vegas numbers. We're going to look at those. Then we're going to look at the depth charts of each team. Now, I've had comments saying, you just go through every single team and love every high-priced player. That's not factual. We go through players. We look at the higher-priced ones. We look at some of the value that might open up. On top of that, as stated in the description of this video, will be today's article. In that article, we will have 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value players at each position that we like with our projections. On top of that, we have a ton of tools at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. We've got player trends, minutes played, fantasy points allowed by position, Vegas odds, our top plays. The top plays are both Fanduel and DraftKings, DVP, and implied team totals with projections and how they've done. We've got our player projections, which we pull the article from, but those are also there. We have chalk. You play cash, you want to play chalk. You play tournaments, you don't want to play chalk. You want to play less chalk. We've got our cheat sheet. In that cheat sheet, we have every single position. We normally have 6 or 7 players at each position for cash and 6 or 7 players at each position for tournaments. So we have a ton of plays there. So this is one step. This video is one step of all of the other tools. If you're looking for just like a 5-player, like, I just want these 5 players and that's it, that's awesome. You probably come to the wrong spot. You want to go somewhere else. They don't dig into it as much as we do. They don't do the research. They give you 5 players and that's it. We give you a ton of tools. We're trying to make you a better DFS player. We're not trying to play for you, if that makes sense. If that's not your cup of tea, I completely understand. But we've got a lot of new followers. People are loving what we do, and we're going to continue to do that. So that being said, again, right off the bat, if you're just looking for like 5 players to play tonight, you're probably in the wrong spot. I just want to get that out of the way while we're here. So that being said, we look at the Vegas numbers real quick, okay? We've got all the openings, lines. Depending when you watch this video, the opening lines have probably changed. The current lines are probably a little bit different, and that's completely fine. Normally, on a massive slate of like 10 games, I don't normally like to go below 220 over under as players I pick and choose out of the games, but we will definitely look at all of them. So New Orleans versus Indiana. The Pacers, they're always going to have a high over-under here. 243.5, 3.5-point spread, so a close game. So I want some exposure to both sides of the ball here. We've got Dallas versus Toronto. Dallas being a 3.5-point favorite right now. Over-under of 245, which is a fantastic over-under for us. Memphis at Minnesota. We've got Minnesota as a 12.5-point favorite, so a blowout potential is possible. So I want to get a little bit exposure to this, but I don't want to get screwed over by the blowouts. And a lot of these teams played on Tuesday, so it's a second game of a back-to-back. So if you're doing your research, you've taken everything we have at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. You've got your player pool there. Dig in a little bit more. Look how the players do on a second game of a back-to-back, and go from there. In that game, it's a 216.5 over-under. So we'll kind of look at it. It's never good when it's a low over-under like that, but a double-digit spread. So that's kind of something I'm a little bit scared of. But again, news will come out throughout the day. Value will open up, so on and so forth. We've got Cleveland versus Chicago. Cleveland being a 4.5-point spread or 4.5-point favorite right now with a 223 over/under. Sac versus Denver. We've got Denver being a 5.5-point favorite with a 232.5 over/under, and then both the LA teams, the Lakers versus Clippers. Clippers being a 5.5-point favorite, 236.5 over/under. Home team. Both of the teams are home teams. Same place. That being said, those are the Vegas numbers as of the making of the video. Depending on when you watch this, they've probably updated and changed by now, which is completely fine. I understand. Kind of watch the trend and see how it's done. So that's step one of what we look at. Next one, we go into the game. So Dallas versus Toronto. And then at the end, we're going to build a lineup using NBA points allowed by position. Now, not the only way to do it. Not a finalized lineup by any means. Things come up throughout the day. Value will open up throughout the day. That's why I tell you, go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you sign up with FTA Plus, you get a month, a year, or a lifetime pass. You get those. Included in that is sports betting. But that includes, if you get the yearly pass right now using the promo code MLBVIP, all one word, all capital letters, go here, FTA Plus, MLBVIP. I believe we have 3 coupon codes left. You're going to get a $199 yearly pass for only $75. 3 coupon codes left. That'll include a year of MLB, the entire NASCAR season, this rest of this NBA season and the first half of next season, the entire NFL season, and the entire PGA season. On top of maybe we bring back, might be bringing back MMA, might be bringing some esports. It just really depends on if you guys want that kind of stuff. So that being said, we look at these games. You've got obviously the guys that Luka, he's very expensive. Playing here, I want to see if he's played Toronto this year. Just to kind of see, again, he's very expensive. Kyrie's in there now. Scares me a little bit, but his price is there. We know what to expect out of him. Played him back on November 8th, 60.75 at this. He was the exact same price. I don't know if I want to pay for Luka all the way up today. I think you could be pretty good with Kyrie. Spent, again, in that matchup, in that kind of area, saving almost $3,000. You could look at that. Flip side of that, Scotty Barnes. He was the winner for Michael 2 nights ago. I believe you guys share the same last name. You share the same last name. Maybe that's why you picked him, Michael. But, I mean, he's in a good spot. I always like using Scotty. Emmanuel quickly. You come down here. If I'm playing tournaments and finding value, possibly Derek Lively II, maybe Jalen Green or Josh Green. Josh getting the minutes there. The fantasy points have been there. Josh Green at 4,300. I don't mind that. If he gets those minutes, the minutes are kind of there. He's got a matchup that I like, especially at 4,300. That would be what I would look at. Giant Dick right here. I would look at Giant Dick. I'm not. His new nickname is John. I've never heard of this guy. Dick caught fire from behind the arc. I know what you're doing, DraftKings. I'm here for it. Dick has held a stable role. I know what you're doing. Okay? I know what you are doing. Dick produced. Dick posted. Dick had. Yeah, absolutely. Giant Dick here, 3,800. The minutes have been there, 23, 22 minutes, coming off almost 10 times value. That's what you're looking for. Playing cash, you're looking for basically 7.5 times value. So 3,800 times 7.5, you're looking at that. With tournaments, 8, 9 plus. He almost had 10 plus here, or 10 times value. You're going to find those. Like, this would be a value Dick. This is a value Dick today, especially if he gets 20 plus minutes and he produces. So he's got a good matchup here. The game should be, I mean, it's relatively close with a high over under. Yeah, I would probably go down here. Maxi Kleber, the minutes are there. He just hasn't done much. So yeah, it's probably Dicking up for me, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I feel confident enough for Luka. I don't know if I'm going to pay that much. Again, maybe value opens up, because if you put Luka in here, then you put Mr. Dick in here, you can still average 5,700. It doesn't... it'll just depend. There's a lot of factors that go through. So these videos get put out, and then news comes out later. Value opens up. Players are in and out. Someone's questionable at shoot-around. Now they're out. That opens up. So these videos are a great starting point. But again, don't just watch this video and that's it. Watch this video. Go to the website, check it out. Go to our Discord, which the link is in the description. The article with some of our projections is also in the description down below. So we look at New Orleans versus Indy. So we look at this. Indy, they are a high-scoring team all the time, 243.5, with a close spread here. So do you trust Halliburton? He let us down the other day. We did not use him in, I don't believe we used him in DFS, but we used him in sports betting. He was my first pick. It was over under 11.5 assists, and he came through for a massive 7 assists. So he let me down, and he's expensive. I don't know if I want Halliburton here. Zion, I don't know. He's got a good matchup, maybe playing from behind. I love some Zion. Brandon Ingram I'm okay with. Obviously, Pascal I'm okay with. Basically down to Nimhard. You could look at him. The minutes are there. Up and down at the value, but again, if you put him at 5,000, you put Dick at 3,800. You've got Luka. You could put him in there. Like, you can find some value in this slate for sure. And we're gonna have more value on the cheat sheet later on. So again, this is a starting point. This is not an end-all be-all video. I don't know if I need to tell that every single video, but it seems like lately every video someone comes on here. There was a small YouTube channel guy who had like 14 subs a couple of days ago, Sunday or Monday, came in and said like, wow, you love everyone. Why don't you just rattle off the entire roster? I kindly let him know that if you're trying to grow your channel, it's probably not the best way to come in here and just talk trash. Like, that's not a good way to get viewers, get subscribers. I don't know what the end goal was, but yeah, I digress. So coming down here, that's not a ton that I love down below. A lot of them again are the mid-tier pricing, and then I'm probably off Halliburton, but I don't mind Zion. Not my favorite. I'd probably rather, if I'm paying up here, I'd probably save the $100 and go Brandon, go with Ingram here more so than I would Zion though. Cleveland versus Chicago. Again, Cleveland, 4.5 point spread, 223.5. So a lower over under. Donovan Mitchell, when you look at what he's done, kind of, some good 50 plus games here, then 30 plus fantasy point games. Not the best. Been up and down though. Chicago here, not the best matchup for him. I don't know how much exposure I'll have to Donovan Mitchell today. Kobe White, I don't mind. Evan Mobley, I don't mind. But if we come down and find some value, Isaac Okoro, I don't know if it loads. At 4,100, the minutes are kind of there. Coming off 19 minutes. But again, before that game, he had 29, 30, 27, 23. Not the best outage, but again, at his price, he's one of those value picks that I don't mind. Drummond, again, it really depends. His price, they dropped him down. I don't think I want to pay up that price. I don't mind Alex Caruso, but does not have the best matchup. Desonmu, I don't mind him at all. So basically, Okoro and Strus for value. And then you come up and you can play some of these guys. I don't think I'm going to be playing much Mitchell. I might be playing some Allen, DeRozan, and Vucevic too. Memphis versus Minnesota. Again, Minnesota being a massive favorite. Scares me a little bit. Karl Anthony Towns now out. So he's listed out because he did not play Tuesday. Personal matter, whether or not that translates to this slate, we'll kind of see. But if he is out, then Gobert makes sense to me. Anthony Edwards. If Karl Anthony Towns is out, I love Anthony Edwards again. But again, we kind of got to wait for the news. That opens up other value. Naz Reid would make sense at 5,500. So again, yeah, I mean, there's, Ant Edwards here, Jackson, Gobert as the higher price guys, and then you got value here. Gigi Jackson, if we just look at what he's done lately, the minutes are there. He really, a couple of down games, now they put him down to 4,700. Seeing if he's played Minnesota this year, we look at this because if they're playing from behind from double digits, Gigi Jackson's going to be one of those that I feel you're pretty good about. Last time he played, maybe not. Played 10 minutes against them, went 4.25 fantasy points. So he didn't do much against them, but only played, 10 minutes. So that's something to watch. If it is a potential blowout and Jackson gets in there, could be a cheaper option at 4,700. Zaire Williams, I don't mind him value-wise. We used him against Brooklyn, got us 9.5 fantasy points in 25 minutes. Not enough. So not one of my favorite plays because he didn't do much for us as last time, but not a ton to like in this game. I think it's going to be a blowout. So yeah, I'm looking at Edwards. I love Edwards 10 times even more if Towns is out for this price at 8,900. Gobert, Jackson, Williams, Naz Reid. Naz Reid would be one of my biggest value plays at 5,500 if Towns is actually out. Then we got Sacramento versus Denver. I'm still surprised Jokic is not above 12,000 considering what he's been doing. 90 fantasy points his last game against Golden State. He went up $100. Played Sacramento. But again, he played Sacramento on Valentine's Day and only got 35.25 fantasy points and played 39 minutes, which is not ideal. Seeing if he's played them before that too. Yeah, right there, 2-9, put up 49.5. So he has not had the best matchup here against them. See if he's played them at all since or before that too. Does not look like it. He has not actually had the best matchup. I don't know if I want to pay up that much for Jokic. So that brings us down to Sabonis. Sabonis makes sense. De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray. If you're looking for some value, Kevin Huerter, depending on the minutes he's going to get. He's played some minutes lately. It's been okay, about 5 times value. Again, the goal is to get an average of every player to get about 7.5 times value. But you will have those players that maybe, let's say you're looking for 7 times value. Get Kevin Huerter here. You put him in there, 4,800. He gets 48 fantasy points to get you 10 times value. Then you're not always going to get 7.5 times value every single player, and that's completely okay. Huerter is one that I would look at tournament-wise. Harrison Barnes, the minutes have kind of been there. The outage has not been there. He had a good game here against the Clippers. Really hasn't done. I wonder why they didn't have his picture. His picture used to be up here. Okay. It wasn't. Okay, whatever. KCP, the minutes. My internet's going slow today, apparently. The wind. It was just 78 degrees yesterday and sunny, and now it's like supposed to snow tonight and be like -12, so love that. KCP, minutes-wise, his minutes of the past couple of games, his minutes have been here. Gotten some value, 4,200. If he plays, I don't mind him. Seeing if he's played Sacramento this year, it does not look like he played the last 2 times they played. And then, there it is. 12-2, 25.75, 5,700. They dropped him down to 4,200. So if he could play some minutes here, he played 38 minutes in that game, though. So KCP is a tournament option. that might be it. Depending, again, value opens up later. Watson, Peyton Watson, minutes haven't really been there. Looking at Najee, not bad. Again, though, the minutes just he's not getting enough minutes. You've got Trey Lyles. We've used him in the past. We haven't used him for a while. One time we did use him. He went off for 32. Yeah, he had 10 times value. So we played him against Chicago, but we played him a couple other times after that. Let us down. So I'm probably not going any lower than, probably no lower than KCP if I'm going that low here. And I don't think I want to pay up Jokic at 11,700. I think I'd rather be paying Luka instead of Jokic, as long as Luka plays. Then we've got the LA game. Is Davis out, or just questionable? Okay, so Davis has a respiratory issue. They've got back-to-back today and tomorrow. That's definitely something to look at. If he is out, I like LeBron here, obviously 9,100. Kawhi, I like Kawhi more than LeBron. Harden has just been, like, we've used him. You know, they've priced him up. He's gotten 37, so he hasn't had the best time lately. But, I mean, we've got these 50 games, the 64.5, 53.5. Seeing if he's played the Lakers this year, I believe he probably has already. Played him on the 23rd, 47.5 fantasy points. That would be what I would be shooting for right here is 47.5. We've got Lakers here, 34.5. Is that it? That's it. So, you know, I don't mind him. It might be a little bit priced up there. He's averaging a little less than 5 times value, so I don't know if I want that. Paul George out. If Paul George is out, okay. So Paul George being out will open up some value. So Harden, I don't mind, but I think that kind of opens up some value for Westbrook to get some more minutes. The minutes have fluctuated. The fantasy points is 5,300. Seeing if he's played the Lakers this year. Played him on the 23rd, 32 fantasy points, played 18. So 32 fantasy points in 18 minutes is pretty good. And then the second time, 15.5. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of see who's going to benefit there. But if Anthony Davis is out, I would love LeBron a little bit. But the Clippers I'm looking at, Kawhi, Harden, maybe Powell for tournaments at 4,800. The minutes have been there for Powell. He's had success, and the last time they played the Lakers, he put up 30.25, and Norman Powell would be another value option I'd be looking at. D'Angelo Russell makes sense. Austin Reeves makes sense on the Lakers side. Hachimura makes sense a little bit, seeing how he did against the Clippers. 22.5 at 3,700 now, but his price is up. I don't know if I want to use Rio here. Probably off him. I think I'd rather take Norman Powell at 4,800. Trey Mann for tournaments, or Terrence Mann for tournaments. I don't mind him. The minutes have been there. The outages has been there. Like, he's had some really good games. So Terrence Mann would be another one. If he plays, he might be taking some spots or some minutes from Paul George possibly. So definitely take a look at Powell. Take a look at Terrence Mann. Spencer Dinwiddie, how's he been doing with the Lakers? Hasn't really done much with the Lakers. So there you have it. Those are the breakdowns. Now, we are going to use one of our tools. One of many tools, but we have a ton of tools on the site. We're going to use the NBA points allowed by position. So this is one way to build a lineup, not the only way to build a lineup, and not the only way we are going to go with you. But I wanted to show you one of the tools you can use. One way to build a lineup. So if you go through the tool, you can see that Washington gives up the most amount of fantasy points to almost every single position, but overall they do. But they're not playing today. We got these 12 teams that are playing. So you got to go down the list. Phoenix not playing. Detroit's not. The Spurs are not. Utah, Milwaukee, Charlotte. The Lakers are playing. So that does bring us to the Clippers. Whether or not that's Harden you want to pay at 8,400, he does have a good matchup. Whether or not you want to play with Terrence Mann, because he's got both eligibility, I think I kind of want to go with Terrence Mann. So I'm going to put Terrence Mann in because as of right now, I'm playing these two. But something could change. We'll definitely see when we do it. But if I'm paying up today, I think I'm paying up for Luka. I don't think I want to pay up for Jokic I just don't want to pay that price for him. Next one is the Wizards, Atlanta, Utah, Dallas. So Dallas gives up an average of 46.3. So we look at Dallas. We're looking at Toronto. Toronto for shooting guard would be Mr. Dick. I didn't even look at that. He's a cheap option at 3,800. I'm going with him right there. Obviously, Barrett is the starter. You've got... we've got this one here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And it's a cheap option, 3,800. Again, I'm building a tournament lineup for you. Small forward position, Wizards, Utah, Toronto. Small forward for Dallas. Dallas, small forward. Tim Hardaway, Green. I don't know. Hardaway, the minutes, 23. I mean, they've been okay. You've got Josh Green, which we talked about, who's been coming strong here through it. I'm going to go with Josh Green at small forward. Move to power forward here. Atlanta, not playing. Utah, Washington, Toronto. So that brings us to Dallas for power forward. Do you want to look at PJ Washington? You know, we look at this. He hasn't really done much lately, so I'm a little bit weary on that. Maxi Kleber, again, the minutes are there. The outage, he just hasn't done well. Derek Jones Jr., we look at him. Game log-wise, has not done much. So, and again, it's not an end-all, be-all. So let's move on to the next one. So Chicago, Charlotte, San Antonio. San Antonio, Detroit, Indiana. So Indiana is giving up an average of 49.7 fantasy points. So that brings us to New Orleans for power forward. That's Zion or Herbert Jones or Marshall. So Najee, at the minutes have not been there. Zion, I don't like. He's 8,300, so in theory, 5 times value. He hasn't hit 5 times value for. He hit it. So his last game he didn't hit it, but they bumped him up to 8,300. I don't know. The minutes are kind of there. I don't know if I trust Zion. So we can move down to Cleveland, Sacramento. Wait, did I say Cleveland? Yeah. So Cleveland gives up an average of 49.2. So we look at that, and that's Chicago for power forward. Vucevic, DeRozan. Like, DeRozan would make sense. The minute-wise, he's playing there. The points are there. He's 7,600. So we could throw him in there just to see. Again, it's a starting point, not an end-all, be-all, like I've mentioned. Then we get to the center position. Washington gives up the first. Portland gives up second most, but Portland is not playing. So then we can move to San Antonio, Atlanta, Charlotte, Detroit, Memphis. Memphis is playing, but they are playing in a potential blowout. So do remember that. But this is what I like. For Memphis, or it's Minnesota. So if Towns is out and Gobert is questionable, Reed might at 5,500. I don't mind him. The minutes have to be there for Reed. He hasn't had the best. Could be a cheap option. But if Gobert is in, will really depend. Not 100% healthy. Is Garza still up, or does he get sent down? Yeah, he hasn't done much. So, again, Naz Reid would be a tournament option at 5,500, allowing us to still average like 62. If you didn't want to go with Naz Reid, you want to go down to Indiana, so Indiana's playing. You could look at New Orleans for center. Valanciunas here. The minutes are there. Seeing if he's played Indiana this year. We look at this. And I may have missed it. I did not see it so far. Okay, I did not see it. The game logs, though, we look at him, 38.75, 26.5, 46. He's 6,400 now, so he's come down since his last game. Larry Nance Jr., I don't know the minutes out of him. 19. Yeah, he's not doing much. Yeah, and then you're going to go away. So if you're not going to go with Naz Reid, you could go with Valanciunas. That's 900 more. So let's just say you go with him. Now you got an average of 57.50 for both a forward and a utility. So let's just take a look and build, just see what we've got for a forward right around 5,700 mark. Again, you don't have to use them. Come down the value we talked about. Norman Powell, I like him at 4,800. And then utility brings us up to 6,700, which I like. So we've got Miles Turner, Michael Porter Jr., Austin Reeves, Vince Williams Jr. Like, these are what we've got. So Porter, kind of seeing what he did against Sacramento. 28 there, which not the best specifically for his price. 30 there at 7,900, not my favorite. Austin Reeves against the Clippers, seeing what he's done. The minutes are there. Reeves minutes we don't have to worry about, but we have to look at what he's done against the Clippers this year. Put up 27.5 at 5,800. Now he's 6,500, and then put up 10 there in 32 minutes. So has not had the best matchup there. Vince Williams, if they're playing from behind, the minutes are there. We do know that. The points are what scares me a little bit. And again, you don't have to use the entire. You don't have to use your entire salary. Herbert Jones is another one. The minutes have been there for him. The fantasy points have been there. He's in a high value matchup here with an implied team total that's pretty high. So I'm going to go with Herbert Jones. And again, that leaves 800 on the table. Also, this is not an end-all be-all, like I've said multiple times. So when you look at this, this is just one lineup that you could possibly build, not the only lineup to build. So that being said, I don't mind it. I'm going to lock it in. And again, maybe I'll update it later on. We'll see about updating it when news and notes come out. So that's all I've got in this video. If you found it helpful, hit the like button. Every little like helps. Every comment helps. And that's what I've got. So good luck on this slate, on this Wednesday slate. And we'll be back tomorrow for a Thursday slate. Good luck. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.